Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be doing some more requested reaction videos, and this video is requested by Lita, and it's going to be Worst Plug-and-Play Console Ever 2 by Rerez. Oh boy, do I have a story to tell you guys about this request. The person who requested this video, Lita, which I believe is a Deep Space Nine character. Wasn't there a character called Lita? Yeah. The sort of story is that she's been waiting for this video for about a year. Yeah, you heard me correctly. She's been waiting a full year for me to react to this video. Better late than never, I say. But yeah, I do apologize that it took about a year for me to finally react to this video. One of the reasons why I never really got around to this video is because the video is just so long. This video is 52 minutes. That's right, 52 minutes. This is a long video for me to react to. This may be the longest video I may have ever reacted to. So yeah, 52 minutes, it might as well be an hour now. So that's why I really didn't get around to it, because it was a very sort of unique special request, which I normally don't do. I don't normally do requested reaction videos that are going over the 40-minute sort of limit. I normally keep into the 20-minute range or the 30-minute range, which makes it much more easier for me. But when people request 40 to 50-minute videos, I try to avoid them. I don't normally do them that much. But I'm doing this because she's been so patient. She's waiting for like a year. She's probably a skeleton now. She's probably in a chair, just like the Yagami video game, that skeleton just sort of lay there in a chair, just waiting, you know, just waiting for the reaction video. So I'm sorry if you're a skeleton, you know. She's just like waiting in front of a TV, just a complete and utter skeleton, just waiting for Charlie's reaction video. Like I said, I'm so sorry. But I wanted to get this out of the way. I do apologize, Lita. So this is something I'm not going to do for everyone. This is not what I'm going to do every single day. I'm not going to start doing an hour video reaction video stuff. This is just a special video for Lita for being so patient for waiting a year. If she can wait a year for a reaction video, hell, she can do anything she can. Yeah, let's check out the video, shall we? This is Worst Plug and Play Console Ever 2 by Rerez. Let's go. Oh boy. Here we go. Of course, I got some Dr. Pepper. Just to keep me stimulated. I need the caffeine. 200 games. Oh boy, we're finally doing this. Been putting this off for a year. We're finally gonna get around to it. Worst plug and play console ever 2. Music by Shag. What a weird name to have. Canadian. Canadian beer. Or was it whiskey? What is it? Who puts beer? Is that root beer? Honey and vanilla. Yes, root beer. I thought so.
Video game consoles, they just seem to
thought it was root beer.
And what really
root beer always looks
about
disgusting.
these systems is that
I hate root beer.
In my head, I assume I'm gonna find something that's just so good, something that other people haven't found before, a hidden lost treasure, an amazing game lost in the sea of these collections built into these systems. But that never happens. It's never happened, but I keep thinking it will. So after that last system, I didn't think it could get any worse.
Oh boy.
So I decided that I was just going to avoid featuring these consoles on the show. But while driving through Virginia, I went to a video game store. And at that store, they had this.
Whoa, what's that?
This system has 200 built-in games.
And
200.
Damn, that's 200
and
games for that tiny thing.
I wouldn't want to actually take a look at them. But it got worse, because when I turned it on, I found out that this thing had a couple of games that related to the last plug-and-play system, which technically made this a sequel console.
Oh god, no.
A sequel console.
A sequel console to a bad console.
That other system, took its games, and made a sequel. what this is.
That's terrifying.
So, I had to play all 200 games, and I did. Did it for you guys. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the games.
Alright, okay,
What
let's
you're about to see is a
see
random
all these
selection
bad
of some of
games.
the very worst titles I found on the system. I didn't really want to sit you through all 200 games, because if I were to do that, we'd be here pretty much all day.
Well, the videos are an hour long,
F22,
so...
a game that stars a jet fighter in space, but jets can't go into space. So, none of the levels in this game take place in space. The game is a basic shoot 'em up. You take a hot pink jet, fly it through one of 3 levels, and fight some bosses at the end of the stages. The endless barrage of enemies that are thrown at you before you get to the bosses are pretty uneventful.
God, the graphics,
and
that
really
war,
boring.
what?
But what is interesting are the boss fights themselves. Now, the first boss I really couldn't identify. It seems to be some gigantic crop duster, but see, the game is having trouble actually rendering this stuff. There's just far too many things going on the screen at once, so everything starts to flicker and break up the longer you play. Now, these flickering issues are throughout the entire game, but they're always the worst.
What is that? Is
as
it
soon as
like
you
a
get to the
rendering
bosses.
problem?
Like this second boss that kind of looks like a bug's head or something.
Is it a game
I swear
bug,
they didn't even work too much
Probably
on the
like a
design
rendering.
of these things. You gotta love the copyright date on this game.
Copyright 2005
2005.
SR06882.
How lazy could you have possibly been to not look over at your calendar beside you and type in the actual year?
Yeah,
Racing
lazy
Fighter,
bastards.
a complete and total knockoff of Road Fighter. But this is something a little bit special. You see, one of my favorite games of all time happens to be Jackal on the NES. And this right here steals the Jackal sprites. It's like stealing a part of my childhood and dumping it into
Stealing
another
your
game that I never
soul.
really liked to begin with. Hey, speaking of Jackal,
Van-
let's take a look
Vanguard.
at Vanguard. It's
Van-
Jackal
Vanguard?
with a tank, which I guess you can do. I mean, once you've stolen the sprites from Jackal, why not just lift the entire game over?
What's with
Well, no,
tanks?
they had to do their
Why
own
has
thing
every
here.
game gotta be tanks?
This game does not play very well. It takes
like a
everything
Curry
that Jackal
Warriors,
was very
Jesus.
good at doing and basically half-assed it. I just don't understand. How can you play Jackal, rip it off, but not get anything right? The shooting's slow, the movement's slow, hit detection is off, and even the weirdest implementation of a health bar system doesn't make any sense when you're driving a tank, and it really should just be one hit, one death, kind of like how Jackal originally did it. In their weak attempt to try and make this game somewhat worthwhile, it ends up
Red
just
health
falling on its
bar, huh?
face.
It should be
Animal blockies.
silver or
It's
something
Mahjong,
for
but
armor,
with animal
to indicate
faces
armor.
instead of the original characters off the original tile set. So, there. That's
Oh,
all
that's
this
creepy.
is. It's not fun to play, and it never will be. Magic Johnny. Now, this
Magic
game
Johnny, oh
actually
boy.
has a story, and I'm gonna read it to you exactly how it's written.
Because nutrition sucked by the huge monsters, soar all the plants have shriving one. This
What?
atmosphere of peace has been destroyed. The green land is
Destroyed.
becoming to wasteland, and people's lives were also threatened by monsters. Till one day, a little hero called Johnny has come up. He must defeat
Johnny.
all these monsters by his magic flower. What?
Magic
So the way
flower.
that this game works is that Johnny, the little guy wearing the hat there, has a flower that he keeps in his pocket. He pulls it out and it eats enemies on the screen. It looks weird and it plays weird. And the game level, well, it never seems to end. I played this stage for a really long time and I didn't find out how to move.
It's
and
like a
progress to the next
tomato.
stage. And you
It's
know
like a
what?
half-eaten
That's fine,
tomato.
'cause I really didn't want to keep
The
playing.
monsters are like...
Police dog Lassie. Look into the eyes of a dog
Oh.
that apparently has no eyeballs.
I feel like
at all
I'm
and just
looking at a dark soul.
soulless
Yeah.
voids where eyes should actually be.
Googly eyes.
Some burglar or criminal type guy decided that, hey, you know all those things I just stole? I'm gonna throw them into somebody's lawn, and guess what? I'm gonna throw bombs in the lawn as well. Your job as the police dog is to memorize all the little areas where that criminal threw everything and only select the items that were stolen and don't select things that are gonna hurt you. This is a fairly boring and very unfun memorization game, which I would not recommend anyone play.
I wouldn't
Police
play
dog
this in the
doesn't
first
even have
place.
any abilities, which is amazing because the one
Why the hell would I
thing
play
dogs are
this?
usually really good
Plug
at
and
is
play
smelling
crap.
things. You eventually forget where all the random items are placed and you're just naturally gonna hit bombs. So this game is it's just awful.
So like
Violent
banana
chasing.
skins on the floor,
Don't
that's
let the
weird.
title confuse you. The
Like
one thing
banana
this
peels.
game doesn't have is violence. But there is a lot of chasing, because you are a police car chasing a truck. But this is where the game gets incredibly annoying.
Okay.
Unlike other games that have a kind of level layout like this, like let's just say Pac-Man, where you can choose to go in any direction you want, your police car can only go forward. So if, for instance, you see that the truck is behind you, you can't turn your car around.
Oh, that
You simply only
sucks.
have the option of
Why?
going forward and turning left or turning right, and that's essentially the entire game.
That
oh,
sucks.
there are power-ups you can
Give
find on the
people
level,
a
like
choice.
gas canisters that make you drive faster, or even clocks that give you more time. But you see, none of that matters because the controls are just awful. Your car handles like a broken Hot Wheels toy, and it never really gets any better than that. So the best experience you're gonna have with this game is when you turn it off. Pong Pong! You'd
Pong Pong.
probably assume it's a Pong ripoff, but guess what? It's not! It's a bumper car thing.
Oh,
with
bumper
holes
cars.
in the stage where you have to kind of bump the other cars into an awkward little spot so they fall in the holes. This game
Oh, my
is
eyes.
so annoying. I actually hurt myself while playing it. My thumb kept slipping off the joystick in frustration because I just wanted to get one of those cars into one of those freaking holes, but it never ever works. But let's just say you do get one of those stupid cars in one of those holes, they just respawn right away. It just keeps going on for as long as they've got lives. I would never recommend this game to anyone. It is beyond irritating. Rabbit Village. Some mountain green cliff building type of thing has a fire, and you, as a rabbit on the top of the hill with some kind of pulley system and chair thing, have to save a bunch of rabbits before they burn to death. Honestly, after a couple minutes of playing this game, you're just gonna let those rabbits burn. But let's just say you want to save the rabbits. Well, you've got some weird hippopotamus crocodile type thing that's basically dropping bombs above you and trying to hit you when you're standing in a certain area above that
I don't
one
understand
green
these
building
games.
thing. Look, I don't really understand what's going on here, but there's very little challenge once you've just figured out to avoid the bombs. So once you've done that, you're kinda good. Seaport Girl. Girl? Guarl? I think that's supposed to be guard. But anyway, you're a tank, and you have to shoot at a boat. And that's really the whole game. In fact, this is one of the levels you would have found in Jackal, that game I talked about earlier on. But here's where it gets weirder. Every time you beat this boat, you'd probably assume a different boat would appear, but that's not what happens. The walls on the left and right just get longer and longer, and it makes it harder to avoid the shots. It's really tiresome, and I just hated this game. Seawolf. You ever want to play a
Seawolf.
game where you basically just sit there and do nothing for a really long time and move
Fallout
awkwardly
76.
left and right until some kind of ship goes into your sight so you can shoot at them with no hope ever of them actually shooting back at you? Well, good. This game is for you. Spring World, an entire game where you just avoid things. It's not even that hard to do it. Your character moves really slow, I'll give it that, but you just kind of time your movements, and the game is pretty basically easy to beat. Through Man, a very basic
Through Man.
side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. Unfortunately, the feathers you throw at your enemies don't really go that far, and it kind of makes it impossible to attack anything from a great distance. The game really doesn't do anything special, and then it totally changes perspectives all of a sudden, and the gameplay gets even worse than it was before. You can't aim properly, you can't dodge things that are coming at you, and unfortunately, those stupid little feathers that just don't go the distance still don't go the distance, and if you're even lucky to get through this area, it just loops again and again and again. I just had to stop playing because I was getting sick of seeing this all the time. Toy Factory. Now call me
And
an
you're
idiot,
expecting
I've got
much
no
from
idea
this
how this game works.
console?
You got
Toy
random
Factory.
items that come down on a series of conveyor belts, and you have to control the little buckets at the bottom of the stage so that the items can go into the correct colors. At least that's what I thought it was, but sometimes an item that worked the first time doesn't work the second time you try it out. I'm not too sure why this happened, but no matter what I attempted to do in this game, nothing seemed to work. And for an added bit of irritation, sometimes a conveyor conveyor belts just magically turn the opposite direction. There's no rhyme or reason for it, it just happens to screw you up. And because you don't know where anything's going anyway, it just further irritates you beyond belief.
Oh boy.
Star. I've got no idea what's happening in this game. It's a bunch of random stars in the background, and you control a star, eating smaller stars to become a bigger star, maybe? But even then, I'm not too sure if that's what the game is.
It's like a
I played this
bubbles.
game for 15 minutes, and I still have no idea what it's about. Wild worm. Now in this game, you're just a small worm eating things, and what even is that?
That is a creepy
Are
ass
those its
tree face.
eyes?
That is
Can it see me?
creepy as hell.
Are its eyes made of wood? Let's talk about this console. It's small. Look at it. It's really amazingly tiny. It's got all of the games and the hardware itself built right into it, along with a bunch of buttons and a joystick on the top to control all the games. But you know what sucks about that? Well, a couple things. First off, the AV cable that goes out from the top here to your TV, well, when you're holding the controller and moving it around, you shake the AV cable, and it creates a staticky image on your TV.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
have to stay very, very still.
That sucks.
And if you're staying very, very still with such small little buttons and small little form factor for your really big hands, your hands start to cramp up. And you know what? Maybe that would have been fine, those two stupid issues, but it gets even worse. The reset and start button are so close to each other that sometimes when you're playing a game for a really, really long time,
not a good choice to put
you'll
those buttons
accidentally
close to
hit
each
the
other.
reset button instead of the start button.
Sod that.
Resetting your entire progress and going all the way to the beginning of the game selection
No,
screen.
that sucks.
You know how many times I did that? Too many times. But I do actually have something positive to say about this system.
Oh, damn.
It runs off of 3 AAA batteries.
Oh,
And those
come
batteries
on.
have lasted my entire playthrough of all 200 games.
Damn,
That's actually pretty
decent.
impressive.
Kind of.
Unfortunately, it was
game sucks,
200 terrible games.
Yeah,
After the
it's not
first
really
game,
good result.
I kind of wanted to give up.
It's not really a good thing.
Now, you ever wonder what it'd be like to be a game developer with simply no ideas whatsoever? That would be this. This game has you taking 3 boxes, a small box, a medium-sized box, and a big box, and moving it over to the other side of the screen in the same order that you found them in. Do you know what this means? This means this game only has one possible solution. One! And it's the only puzzle in the game. See, once you've done this once, the game is over.
No,
There's
come
nothing else
on.
to do. Is that not amazing? Does this not
It's like the
amaze
Liberty
you?
statue.
Somebody made a game with one puzzle. You created graphics, assets, and a whole group of things just to make a single puzzle. Wow. And the puzzle took me a whopping 10 seconds to figure out.
Come
It
on.
actually took me longer to describe this game to you than to actually play it. Apple chess. Well, I
Apple
don't see any
chess.
apples or chess, so why is this called Apple Chess? This is just an old game called Reversey, which is really weird because if you knew it was Reversey, why didn't you call it Reversey? Were you guys trying to avoid a lawsuit? Really? Because the people that invented Reversey probably died hundreds of years ago. In fact, there's more of a likelihood to be sued by the people that created Apple Chess. You know, Apple, they actually made a game called Apple Chess, and call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure the people at Apple have lawyers at hand, where the people that invented Reversey probably thought the world was still flat. Hitmouse.
Shut up.
I don't even... Look at the screen! Is that a mouse? No, it's a mole. And sometimes you hit a piece of grass.
I think it's like a peas
Why would you
pod.
call it hit mouse? You
Just
know
like a
it's
peas
not a
pod,
mouse.
maybe?
You designed them to not be mice, so why would you call this game Hit Mouse? This game goes by one name, Whack-A-Mole. You know
Whack-A-Mole.
it's Whack-A-Mole. You knew it was Whack-A-Mole when you ripped it off, so why call it Hit Mouse? Goblet Tower
Gotta be creative,
is
I
just
guess.
the box moving game again. And it's the same puzzle. It's the same solution. Nothing has changed here, except now it's just little goblets.
What's the
I don't
point?
even understand this. If you are going to make the game twice, why not make it far more interesting? Like have more tables, or maybe have far more cups or boxes in it or something. I don't know, I'm just shooting in the dark here.
Yeah, something a little bit more creative.
Man.
Win.
Frantic fishing is not frantic, not even a little bit frantic. In fact, if I might be so bold, this is the most boring fishing game I have ever played. You choose bait,
I think all
put it
fishing
on the
games are
line,
boring.
and then put the line in front of fish eyes. Then once in a while, you catch fish. It is so unbelievably boring.
There was
At the
one,
bottom there,
that
it
Sega
says you
fishing
can
game,
catch
that was good, that.
mermaids, but I've
Fishing
never
game on
done
Sega,
that.
wherever it was.
That would have been exciting.
That was a good one.
Mermaids would have been frantic. Maybe. This isn't frantic. It's about as exciting as fishing in a kiddie pool you filled yourself in your backyard that doesn't have any fish in it. Toad in a Hole, which is exactly the same game as Hit a Mouse, only now you have some extra holes. What's going on? You can't do that. And you can't call it Toad in a Hole when there's no toads in any of the holes. I would even accept a lizard or some kind of reptile, something at all, just so you could call it Toad in the Hole. This is called Music Moment, and what you're supposed to do in Music Moment is collect all those falling red balls in that little dish with that
Are they
dragon
apples?
that you're controlling there. No, unfortunately,
like
you're never going to be
apples?
able to complete this task because some of the droplets appear right across the screen, and you're never going to be able to run there in time because your stupid little dragon is just not fast enough. Aerial Hero is supposed to be some kind of helicopter fighting game, but I would know nothing about that because the entire game has you just overlooking some city from high on above.
It's like Candyland.
Let's just
It's
fast
sort of
forward
pink.
here so you can see how incredibly empty this world is. There is nothing to see.
Where's the
Once in a while,
helicopter?
you might see an enemy, but that's super rare. This isn't a helicopter fighting game,
It's
alright?
it's like a
This is just a
radioactive
heavily pixelized
sign.
version of Google Maps. This game is called High Card, but High Card is actually the card game War. If you forgot what War is, let me refresh your memory. You and a friend have 2 stacks of cards. You both take one card
yes,
from
I've
the top,
played this
lay it
before.
out, and whoever has the higher card wins. The player who wins
In
takes
cards,
both
not
cards,
this
and you
game
just keep
itself.
repeating that
I've
until
played
the
it
game is over. And once in a
card-based
while,
War.
if you have the exact same face value of cards, you lay down 3 additional cards, and a 4th card gets flipped over, and you keep repeating that until one of you loses, and you get to collect more cards. Did I have to explain War to you? No, but here's what you need to understand. This game is operated by a single button. One button. There's no strategy, no extra thought. All
Just
you do is
mash it.
start up the game
Mash the
and
button.
just press the B button. And you keep pushing the B button until the game is over. That's it. That's what High Card is all about. But I think what irritates me more than anything isn't the fact that this is one of the laziest games that is even on this system. It's the fact that I can see mice in holes. This means that they actually created a sprite of a mouse in a hole, which they could have used for Hit a Mouse.
Yeah,
but
they could have used
didn't.
those.
Why?
Why?
Why wouldn't you do that? You actually made the assets. There was no reason for these things to be in this game. This game's a
Yeah.
card game. It doesn't even involve mice.
Maybe
And
the-
if you go to
maybe the code
war,
got scrambled.
There's an animation that shows a mallet hitting these mice, which is what you needed for that other game. I'm losing it. I am actually losing my mind.
The codes got
Surfage
scrambled,
Sport.
probably.
It's supposed to be surf, but they threw in a G there for some reason. This may well be the saddest game on the console. There's no music, no sound effects, just some guy on a surfboard slowly drifting through the ocean currents through a bunch of oil rigs with some oil spills here and there.
How
But the guy,
exciting.
well, he's dressed up in a flame-retardant hazard suit because that's what you'd wear when you're surfing, right?
Well, this oil rig,
Now
so maybe
stop.
it doesn't want to catch on
This
fire.
next game is important. You have to understand that I didn't even realize that this console was gonna be a sequel to that other video I did of that other plug-and-play system until I played this exact game.
Okay.
This is called UFO Race. But
UFO
look at
Race.
it. What does it look like? It actually isn't UFO Race, it's Boat Race.
Oh.
But what's weird is Boat Race is actually a ripoff itself of F1 Race. So you're looking at a second generation ripoff game. I didn't even know you could go this deep down the rabbit hole, but folks, here it is. You see,
We're
where boat
going
race was some kind of
into the
interesting
dark dimensions
palette
of
swap,
hell.
this one here, they just basically turned everything black. See, for UFO race, the UFO is now in space because they just got rid of the backgrounds. But look, UFO race, the title screen, look at that little guy right there. He still has water splashing up on the side of the UFO, so it's still a boat. But you know what really sucks? It's the fact that I can still hear the tires squeaking in space.
Squeaky wheels in space.
How do you rip off a game twice, and each
How do
time
you
you
get
rip it
squeaky
off, you
wheels in
still
space?
don't get rid of that stupid tire squeaking sound? That's the laziest hack I've ever seen from anyone. Slot machines! Slot machines!
Slot machines, gambling, have fun.
I hate slot machines! I mean, where is the challenge? This is a digital slot machine. You don't win actual money. You literally put in fake money that they just arbitrarily give you at the beginning of the game, and then you either lose that money or win more money. What's the point? I mean, really, what's the point? Many of the card games on
Microtransactions,
this
pretty
system
summed up.
are at least card games with some element of strategy.
Put in real money and
thought.
get fake money
Slot
in
machines
exchange.
don't even have that. And don't even come to me thinking, oh, well, what if I were to play a game with a story and that one has some really interesting slot machines in it? But see, that right there, that's a video game with a story. And if they're including some kind of gambling mechanic that happens to slot machines, it's a mechanic
think Mario had
as a way for you to earn money faster,
slot
so
machine.
you don't have to grind for the money. It's a little bit of a risk and reward system, which does work in narrative games or games that have some kind of larger world outside of slot machines. But games like this, with just
think
the slot
Super Mario
machine,
Sunshine
are
had a
useless.
slot machine.
Completely and totally useless. Zero
It was like a
gravity.
puzzle.
Wait.
Zero gravity.
This is just Balloon Fight. It's a
Balloon
palette
Fight.
swap of Balloon Fight. But hold on. Balloon Fight has a two-player mode, but you can't access it here. But I do remember if you played the original Balloon Fight, there was a moment when the main menu would eventually demo two-player mode. You just had to wait a little bit for that to happen. So let's give this game a couple seconds.
Okay.
Aha! Look, there it is. That's the two-player game mode. But hold on. There's something wrong here. If this game mode is actually within the game, why can't I access it? Ladies and gentlemen, I discovered how they did it. Let's take a closer look at the RetroPlay controller. It's got a
Okay.
start button, an A, a B button, a joystick, and a reset
If you can call it
button.
a
But what it
joystick.
doesn't have is a select button. Now that's important because the NES and Famicom both have a select button, and the select button is used to get to the second option on the title screen to turn on the two-player mode. So in their infinite wisdom and their supremely lazy attitudes, all they did here was they modified the original ROM of this game so that the second option is just appearing black. Oh, it's still there, you just can't select it, because by removing the select button from this controller, there's no way for you to select the two-player option. In fact,
So
there's
cheap.
going to be a ton of games you see on this system that are just rip-offs of other games that have a two-player option, but you simply can't get at it because they removed the select button. And if you're looking at this two-player mode you're seeing right here, you can clearly see that the
It's like a
second
bubble
player
umbrella.
sprite has
What's
been
up with that?
colored blue, and they had to do that by hand. That's not just some automated thing that would have happened. So they must have done this just to mess with you, just because you may
This
have
screw
known what
movie.
this game originally was, and just to make you hurt for that two-player mode that you will
They
never
just want to
get.
cut you deep.
You know, it's funny that this console doesn't even have a select button when it needs one, and this one has way too many buttons that just do the same thing over and over again. It's like they just can't get it right. Dada, which is
Dada.
actually just Popeye, but sure, let's call it Dada. Now, this is a palette swap, and I can understand that. At this point, we're getting a lot of different
Oh
palette
boy,
swap
a lot of
games,
bad
but
games.
I don't understand why they went this route. Now, Popeye is a teddy bear, Olive Oil is now a penguin, and Bluto is a porcupine
What is
head
that?
man? I can't even really tell. This is a very strange one because the gameplay relatively has stayed the same, but they've just done a number on the graphics work here. With the original graphics, it's pretty easy to tell where Popeye can go, but because they've replaced all the ladders and all the stairs with bushes and stuff, it's kind of hard to know exactly where your teddy bear can go around. Where Popeye used to eat spinach for power-ups, now the teddy bear apparently eats his own feces. And in the second stage, well, Bluto Pluto, he's definitely got scurvier. Something's going around, man, because he does not look good. Heck, he might have been eating whatever the bear was eating in the previous scene. And in the third and final stage, well, they just got rid of the penguin altogether, so just random letters
Collecting
are falling
letters,
from
how
the
fun.
sky that you have to collect for no reason. And here's a pro tip for anyone out there that's trying to really hack a game and modify it as their own, and you want to avoid any lawsuits, make sure to remove Popeye's face from the life counter to the top left.
Oh,
you
boy.
complete and total idiots. Bicycle race it's just F1 race again. It's the UFO race, the boat race, the game's back again. But hold on. What's it missing? Listen closely. There's no tire squeaks. There's no tire
music
squeaks.
or anything.
There's no tire squeaks in a game where you actually have tires. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. The one game where you can have tire squeaks, you took it out. What is wrong with you? How can you rip off
They're
so
demented,
many
they're
games,
evil.
and in the one game where you could have used the original assets,
They're
you
cruel,
got rid of the
honestly.
assets because I just don't understand. Okay, now before we start this game, I want you to listen to the original theme music for tennis on the NES. Here we go.
Kinda nice, I like it.
Okay, now here's the theme music for tennis off of the Retro Play.
Okay. Oh god, it's like it
That
got
sounds
scrambled.
like a drunk cover band's version of the original song. But it gets worse because when the game starts, it really is just a rip-off of the original tennis, but they've done, oh, so much more. To your left, you'll find Master Higgins from Adventure Island. But wait, there's more. There's two Master Higgins. I don't even know why they did this, but there's two versions of the same dude standing there. I don't know, guys. When you were stealing art from other games, couldn't you have just stole from, I don't know, two different games? So at least the audience looks a little bit different for this tennis match? Oh, and no doubt you had to take out Mario from the original game as the chair umpire, and I don't know, change it with what? A caterpillar? A caterpillar? A man-sized caterpillar?
Oh,
that
boy.
was the thing you chose to
Like
be the
Alice
chair
in Wonderland,
umpire?
it's just
Really?
weird.
Where is this tennis match taking place? Land of the Lost Giant Bugs? Now here's a strange game. Power Pull Girl.
Power
This
Pull
is just a rip-off of an already existing game. Just a ROM hack. But what
The
is
hell? It's
very
like
funny
Powerpuff
is
Girls.
that they decided to rip off the Powerpuff Girls franchise
Yeah, it does
by
look
getting
like the Powerpuff
Blossom
Girls.
in this game as a standalone character. You don't even get her sisters. But what's creepy is that Blossom's skin is pure milk white, and her eyes are black with white little pupils. Oh, they got the hair color right, but outside of that, she kind of looks like a zombie.
Kinda looks like
Maybe
Lilo
what
and
the Powerpuff
Stitch.
Girls would look like if Tim Burton
the-
drew them. I could get past the looks personally, but
Like the
here's the
movie.
problem. You see, when you modify the character model of one of the characters in the game, you also have to modify the hitbox, because now that you've changed the way the character model looks, the game world is still treating the model like it's the original model from this original game. It's hard to gauge distance, you fall into puddles, and it kinda sucks. Hot Topic Blossom is just a complete joke. What I think confuses me the most about this game is that they chose the Powerpuff Girls, and just Blossom.
Hey,
out
don't
of all
knock the
three of them.
Powerpuff Girls. I
Why
like
would
the
you do that?
Powerpuff
Wouldn't
Girls.
you want to pick a
I like the movie.
franchise
Mojo
that only
Jojo.
has one character?
Mojo Jojo.
Maybe like one strong character like Superman or Batman.
Powerpuff Girls
What
are awesome.
kids out there right now are going, oh, I want to play with Blossom.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice.
The NES Classic Urban Champion is nowhere to be seen
Spar.
because this is Spar. And this beautiful title screen is brought to you by an infected letter S. Ugh, just
What is that?
so
It's like an
gross. This game essentially
like a
plays
hemorrhoid
just
or
like the
something.
original, but everything, and I mean everything, has been modified. Look at it. You're some kind of goblin fighting some kind of werewolf. The buildings are now trees, and there's still people that live in the trees, but now their skin is green, and when you win, it looks like they have leprosy and their skin is flaking off into the streets below. Heck, even the police car that scares the fighters from fighting each other still shows up in this version, only now it's yellow and looks like a taxi.
It does
All
look
the
like a
fighters still
taxi.
stop fighting because, you know, in the presence of a taxi, they get all freaked out and scared from the taxi guy. I mean, What's a taxi even doing in the forest? And I just don't get it. I really don't. Why are they freaked out? Why is the goblin and werewolf freaked out by a taxi? If anything, the taxi driver should be driving even faster to get out of the forest
Yeah,
because he just witnessed a goblin and a werewolf fighting near a tree with some lady at the top of the tree throwing down skin flakes on people.
The following is a paid
boy.
message from Knockoff Games Incorporated.
Here at Knockoff Games Incorporated, we only take the best of video games, knock them off, and sell them to you, the unknowing consumer. What's this? Donkey Kong 3? No, it's Bandits! A
Come
couple
on.
of people would probably rip off a game here or
What a
there and
rip-off.
just change a
This-
couple
this
of the
is not
assets
right.
around, but we inverted the entire color spectrum. That's right, it looks like someone took a pee on absolutely every object in here. Oh, and remember those black money bags at the beginning of the title screen? Well, we inverted those colors too because we ain't got
Why
no
not?
idea what we're doing. Now, I'm not stupid. I hear you asking.
But how can you use the image of Donkey Kong in this game? Nintendo will sue you. It's one of their most popular arcade characters of all time.
And I say to
talks like that?
you really strange sounding guy.
I know it's supposed to
this
just nerds,
isn't
but
really
still.
Donkey Kong. Take a close look. It's a psychopath in a mask. What better way to rip off Donkey Kong 3 than to induce nightmares in every single one of our consumers? And it even gets better. We got a stage where you trap Donkey Kong's face, well, not Donkey Kong, in a mask made from a human
God, that
skull.
is
And
creepy
then, just
as
for
hell.
good measure, and because we got a little bit lazy, we just decided to invert the colors a whole heck of a lot more times, just to
come
kind of
on.
make it
So
feel like an
lazy.
acid trip. So remember, kids, when you want your
Just like
Donkey
Teenage
Kong
Mutant
3 fix,
Ninja-
don't go to
Ninja
Nintendo,
Turtles.
come to
Like the
us to
mask.
play the one and only
The rubber
Bandits.
suits.
I'm really not a fan of Road Fighter, and this console has so many Road Fighter clones that if we were to actually sit down and review every individual one, we would be here for over an hour. All you
well, I'm
really
gonna
need to
be
know
here
is
for an
this:
hour.
every single version plays exactly the same with some kind of fuel limit or time limit. I hate Road Fighter. I hate Road Fighter, and I don't ever want to see Road Fighter again. And this console has a billion different versions of that exact same game. Crazy Gold Digger. which
Crazy
has
Gold
Kirby
Digger.
in it,
How's it
and
crazy?
He has full-size arms, and he
Kirby
does
with
not
muscles.
look happy about it. I played this
Jesus.
game for quite a while, and the only thing that's crazy about it is that there is no gold in the game whatsoever. But you know what?
Gold's at the end
Maybe
of the
that's why
rainbow.
Kirby's crazy now, because he's been given human-sized arms to collect a whole bunch of gold that simply isn't there. So in the first plug-and-play system we looked at a
City
little
of-
while ago, that console had a Battle City ripoff. So of course, this one
What's this,
also
like
has
Elvis
to have
Presley?
a ripoff, and it's called Future Tank.
Future
now,
Tank.
this is funny, because there's no tanks in this game. The
Gobble.
one and only thing you need to do is show off a single tank, and you couldn't even do that.
Maybe
Whatever
they're
the heck it is
ship
you're
tanks?
controlling
Or
looks like
rocket
some
ship
kind
tanks?
of rocket ship, maybe a missile, I don't know, but it definitely isn't a tank.
Missile
If
tank?
for whatever reason they're gonna make a sequel to this game or rip it off again and use these exact same weird sprites, just call it
fish
Future
tanks.
Rocket, because that's what this is.
Yeah,
this
it's not
one is
good.
called Risker, but look at it.
Risker.
It's not Risker, it's Excite Bike. Only they just haven't called it Excite Bike because they want to, I guess, avoid some lawsuit, like everything else we've pretty much seen on this console so far. This is once again another modification where they've taken out some graphics and changed them with something else, and in this
Oh boy,
instance,
those
the bike is
colors.
now a car. But you know what, folks? I know Excite Bike very well, and I'm pretty sure once you get to this one specific moment, if they haven't changed the font around, it should still say, ha, there you go, Excite Bike. Excite Bike, the word, is still in the game, but they must just not have played it to this point to realize it was still there.
The
How
lazy
sad.
bastards.
Sky Invader. Here's another game
You
that
gotta
we
rip
already
off
saw
something,
on the
rip it off
other
right.
plug-and-play system, and they've really changed very little. Now the sky is pink. That's it. The sky is just pink. Cool. Aquarium.
aquarium.
You're a fish, and you're eating a bunch of things that are being tossed down by... I don't
Oh,
even know
what
what,
the fuck
that's
is
supposed
that?
to be.
It's like a
but
demented
you really
frog.
just keep eating things.
A
Nothing
frog on
hurts you, you
LSD.
just
What
keep
the hell
eating,
is
and
that?
it never stops. I don't even know why you'd bother playing this game, but It's nothing compared to this next one. This game is just called
Aimless.
And it totally is. Dragon bird things are just flying at the screen and you're doing your best to aim and shoot at them,
Reptiles,
but your
I guess.
best is simply not good enough. The controls are really slow, the aiming's really imprecise. You know what? If we're gonna have one thing in a game where we just aim and shoot at things, it should be a proper crosshair. What is this? Tell me what this is.
It's like a smiley
Does it
face.
look like a crosshair to you? Because it certainly doesn't look like one
It's
to
like a
me.
smiley.
In fact, if I were to call it anything, I'd probably say a four-leaf clover that's transparent, maybe. Ah, why even do this? Burbles. Which,
Burbles, okay.
yes.
Burbles.
Why, sure, let's call this game Burbles. It's a game where you ride in a Jeep and shoot unarmed people out of the sky while they're parachuting down. Oh, I assume you think they're soldiers, but when they land down, they run away from you as fast as they can because you're sitting there shooting unarmed people. Oh, and while we're at it, great work on that background, guys. That copy and paste feature really worked wonders on that mountain range.
It's like Metal Gear,
Burrow
like that.
Explore. Boy, I love games where you can't
Metal
see
Gear sort of
any of the
graphics.
stage because it's all hidden in the black of night. But you know what's really fun? Having a stupid little flashlight to just light your way just a couple of inches in front of your face. That way, when you see an enemy and you die, it really was
Rambo
your
sort
fault
of
because
style.
you just couldn't see anything, right? This game is so lazy, they didn't even bother to color the stage. It's just white on black. the
I've seen
entire
a lot
way
of games
through.
do this.
At least if I could see a little bit more than that, I would know where the heck I'm supposed to go. But I don't even know what is a hall and what isn't, and I just can't. Bugs War.
Bugs War.
Welcome to the slowest possible version that you will ever play of Battleship. That's all
Okay.
this is. Battleship with bugs. And you don't even get attacked back, you just attack the bugs. There's no limit, there's no nothing. You just keep going until the stage is over. I just...
Yeah, I'm not
Baseball.
expecting much
Hey,
from
you
these
know,
games.
there's
Baseball.
Like a bunch of
It's gonna be terrible
really,
games.
really good baseball games on the NES. This isn't one of them! I don't even know what this is. I have no idea how they made it. There's no sound effects. There's no music. It's got horrible controls. And in fact, I'm pretty sure the people that made this game have never seen a baseball game in their entire life. This is a game called Boxes,
Oh, my eyes.
where you and an AI opponent draw boxes.
Look at my face. It's so purple.
Because someone
It's
thought that was fun.
fucking hell.
This game's called Bubble. At the very
Oh,
beginning,
my
a
eyes.
fish flies across the sky, and I guess it drops a bunch of really ugly fishes that you have to shoot bubbles at.
God,
Do
that
I
was
even
like the
need to explain
purple
how
light
fish
of
work?
death.
Fish don't fly. Very simple. It's in the book
Fish
about
don't
fish.
fly. Well.
It's the first sentence in the book. Fish swim. They don't fly. What? Okay,
It's
you know,
mutated
I need
fish.
some support.
Radioactive fish.
I'm gonna lose it if I don't. I'm gonna call a friend.
Don't worry, drink your root beer.
Someone that can help me with this. Just anyone. Someone at all. Hey, look, it's everyone's favorite game.
War.
That's right, Leo. Fish War. But we know that it's actually called Balloon Fight. I don't know why it's back again, but here it is, and everybody's a bunch of fishes. You know what? I'm gonna let Leo take this one.
This is a deep-sea dive into the world of fish.
Deep-sea dive into the world of
joy
madness.
when a fish hits the other fish and they lose their little fish umbrellas. Oh, you don't think they're fish umbrellas? Oh, you. Oh, and you, my little undersea friend. Who are you? Ah, you just sit there.
He
in the
looks
waters
traumatized.
doing nothing.
He's like
Shot out a little
traumatized
bit of
PTSD.
electricity. How delightful and utterly unlike Balloon Fight. Yes, I could bask in these waters for hours. Just
Oh,
looking
boy.
into the deep, thinking and looking, but really thinking about life.
That was strangely poetic. But I got a lot more games to go through.
Oh,
You should probably just
no.
relax.
I
No
will,
more games,
just
please. No more bad
not
games.
yet. Shouldn't Nintendo be suing these guys or something? It's really amazing. There
They
are
got
so
away
many
with it.
ripped
It's
off
shocking.
Nintendo games on here, and in many of the
no
instances,
point.
they're not even ripped off well.
Can't rip them off. They probably
Death
don't have any
Bomb,
money.
Another game that's ripping off Battleship,
Can't even
but
sue
this
'em,
one
'cause they
has something kind of cool.
probably don't have
you
money.
had the ability to switch weapons. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say you have the ability to switch weapons? No, no, no. You don't. The AI sure as heck does, but you don't. And that's where this game gets really, really annoying. In Battleship, you have
AI
to attack
privilege.
one square at a time in order to
I guess
find
white
out where all the
privilege doesn't come
battleships
into
are,
effect.
which is pretty much par for the course. However, what they've done
privilege.
here
Oh,
is that
bloody
there
hell.
are a selection of different weapons.
I'm just
These
joking,
limited
Jesus.
weapons give you the ability to hit more than one square, which kind of adds a little bit of a different dynamic in the way that this game is played. But there is absolutely no way for you to be able to use those weapons. You just can't select them. Oh, the AI does, and believe me, they make use of everything they can. But you can't, because I think what happened was this game was designed with the select button in mind. But there isn't a select button on this stupid console, so you just can't do it. You just can't. So instead, the AI just tries to massacre you every time you play. But this one time, this one and only time while playing this, I killed the AI using single shots. That's right. And even then, I still hate this game. Diamond. This game is actually
Diamond.
Arkanoid. And you know what? It must be really hard to rip off Arkanoid. You know, the one really cool thing about Arkanoid that I used to remember playing in arcades is that there was this little dial, and the dial was weighted, and it was really easy to move your little paddle left and right, and it was just really fun to play. But in this game, your paddle is purposely slow. It's so slow, in fact, that you're simply not going to be able to move it fast enough to hit the ball back at the little bricks up above. This is simply a broken game from the get-go, and the way they could have fixed this was just by increasing the speed of the stupid paddle. But they didn't
That
do
would require
You know
effort.
what they did? They just gave you infinite lives. I
Aw,
can't think of a
come
better way to
on.
ruin a game than by giving you absolutely no challenge whatsoever. This just sucks.
Wow.
Dune War. A man stuck in the middle of a desert with a rocket launcher starts shooting at oncoming enemies forever and ever and ever. This
Sounds like
game's
Doom
called
Eternal.
First Defender, but I know it by another name.
Fighting off
Space
endless waves
Invaders.
of demons.
Unfortunately, they've taken what is a very basic
Doom
game
Eternal's
in
good.
Space Invaders and just made it incredibly boring. I don't even know how many rounds of this I played, but I was just assuming it would get more difficult as you played it, but it never does.
What is that?
You
It's
know
like a
that's kind
squid
of the challenge
or an
of Space
octopus.
Invaders. The more of the
hell are
invaders you
those?
blow up, the faster they move. Well, in this, that doesn't happen. You can have one spaceship left on the field, and it just moves as slow as if you started the level. It totally removes all the fun from Space Invaders.
It's like a scrotum
Fruit
gun.
dish. In this game, a pipe from the sky
A hairless
drops
scrotum
fruit,
gun.
and there's a pipe underneath. And your job
Smiling
is to switch the
clouds.
fruit
Look
out
at
into the
smiling
fruit that
clouds.
the pipe at the bottom needs. In this case,
God.
lemon. Oh, there
Slowly
is a
going
time limit
insane.
just in case you can't possibly master the easy switching of fruit. But if you can't master that, well, wow. This console has a huge selection of games that look exactly like this. Yes, they switch out the sprites and switch out the characters, but the gameplay essentially stays the same, and even the music and sound effects generally stay the same. I don't know why they made so many of these, but I guess once they were on a roll of just ripping off whatever the original one was, they just kept making them again and again and again and again. None of these games are good, none of them play well, and they're all incredibly boring. These games take up a huge chunk of the 200 on this console. It's crazy. Here's a game called Mowing. Now,
Mowing.
I'm no
How
Hank
fun is
Hill,
that?
But I'm pretty sure
Cutting
most
grass.
people out there don't enjoy the act of mowing their lawns. But even if you did, here's a game where you have to worry about
Can
Muttley
you
from
imagine
Wacky
working
Races
as
being stuffed into
you
your
mow
lawn,
people's
trying to
lawns and
kill
you come home to
whenever you're
play
mowing.
a video game
That's
and
the
you're
game.
playing mowing.
You mow grass, and then you get another lawn you have to mow, and you just keep doing that until you
Your
throw
job
the
is mowing
system in
and you
agony. Mad
play the game mowing.
Xmas.
That'd be
Oh,
ironic.
Santa does not look happy.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
looks
know who this green elf is,
angry.
but he did something to make Santa
did something
angry.
naughty.
Oh, sure, Santa's throwing down candy canes and presents and candy, but once in a while he tries to kill this guy by throwing down a bomb. What is the message this game is trying to convey? That if you get
Santa's
Santa
angry?
he'll kill you?
Yeah.
Forest Adventure. Oh, I played this game for a really long time. time, because I
plays
just
the
assume
tomato?
the scenery or something about it might change, but it never does. But here's the thing, at the beginning, I thought this might be a decent platformer, maybe, but no, it couldn't be that,
Because you
it
fall
just
through
had
the
to do
floor.
something to irritate me. Sometimes your character will just fall through the floor
I
for no
knew it.
reason at all, or maybe,
You could tell.
maybe a jump you just
There's no
performed
hit
doesn't really
ratio.
land exactly where it's supposed to, because they haven't really designed the game to be that pixel perfect.
Yeah,
the
it looks
game controls
terrible.
incredibly sloppy, but they've also done one of the things I hate the most in these kind of games. They show you some kind of thing that you can get, a diamond, a coin, whatever it is,
Which
and
is
they put it in an
impossible.
area that you'll never be able to get unless you're willing to die for it. That, to me, is bad game design. Oh boy.
That's terrible.
Hammer and nail.
Hammer and
This
nail.
one really got me.
Okay, let's see what
you
it is
play
about.
as a hammer. Now you can see there's those little X's on those squares there. Well, here's what's supposed to happen. One of those sentient nails is supposed to go near one of those holes, and you're supposed to hit them into the hole. Sounds easy, right? But here's the problem. The nails have a mind of their own, and they rarely ever go to those holes.
Oh,
so you'll
boy.
be sitting there for an incredibly long time just waiting for them to go there. And by the way, if you want to try and scare them into going in the holes or something like that by slamming your hammer around them, well, that doesn't work. They don't care. If you squish them when they're not in a hole, they just end up getting respawned somewhere else. This game is incredible. It's like they didn't even realize that there needed to be some kind of mechanic to get the nails to go near the holes.
You're
Frantic
expecting them to
mouse.
play
Now,
200
let's
games.
Look at this title screen
Yeah,
here.
definitely.
You see that mouse trying to climb onto a cloud? You're never gonna see this while playing the game. And here's
Okay.
why. The goal of this game is that you control a mouse and he's got to jump from one cloud to another. But the very first cloud is glitched. You
Ah.
can't just jump a little bit to the left or a little bit right. You can only do one thing. Jump straight up. That's it. No other options. As soon as you try to jump, the left and right momentum you're getting from the bottom cloud doesn't follow with you. So when you jump, you just go straight up. So the clouds above you keep moving and you miss it. And as soon as you come back down, you lose a life. And once you lose that life, the level restarts. I played this
How
game
fun.
forever trying to figure out what I did wrong. But as far as I could tell, I wasn't doing anything wrong. But I just had to assume it was me and not the game itself. How could they make this game? They had to have tested it. They must have known it wasn't working, but it still was included on this stupid console. So clearly it was me and not the console, right? But no, after a really long time of playing, the game randomly started up properly, and I was able to get to the second cloud. But after I got to that second cloud, I fell again. Replay that and look at that. Tell me I didn't hit that cloud, because I totally did.
You
and
hit
that was
that.
the last time I ever saw the game work properly. One try, and that was it. But all those games meant nothing. All of them meant nothing until I found this one. Because this game was the worst. The absolute worst of all 200 games that this console had
God.
to offer. And when you see it, I think you're gonna agree.
Oh god, no, please no.
Animal contest.
Apple
is-
contest, what?
This one's special. Okay, you know the game High Card we showed off way
Yeah.
earlier? It's also known as War. Well, what they did was they took the exact same engine and dropped it down here. So this still is War, only this time, instead of cards, you're comparing animals. But see, that doesn't make any sense. You can compare high cards and low cards because, well, there's a number value there. But what's the difference between a pink dog and a yellow lion? I don't understand. Is it
Oh,
more
boy.
ferocity? Is it cuteness? Is it what? What does that mean?
It's whatever
There
you
are
want it
things
to
here
be.
that are being compared against other things that I have no idea what the value is. It's just like High Card. There's no strategy, no gameplay elements whatsoever. You just push a button till the end. But why wouldn't you just put like some kind of number beside the animal so I could at least know that one animal is better than another? 200 games!
200 games of
Oh,
hell.
I'm dying! So, there you have it. The Dream Gear Retro Play Controller in all of its glory. It's a piece of crap. And
Oh
you know
yeah,
what?
it's a piece of crap.
That's fine.
It's
because I
fine.
was
You didn't
expecting
expect.
that after a
You
while.
wasn't expecting
I gave up
much.
hope, about 50 games in that I was going to find
50
anything
games?
in this console
I gave up
that would
hope
be
at the
worth it.
first.
But you know what? I don't regret playing this. In fact, I'm happy that I played this, because while playing this, I came to one big realization. It's now my goal in life to find every single one of these stupid systems and review them. Review them so that everyone else on the planet knows never to play them. So that whenever somebody takes a second glance at one of these things and they think, well, should I buy it? They'll know not to, because they've seen me talking about it. So here it is. From here on out, I'm gonna look for these things. And I'm gonna play every single one.
Oh god, no. Oh, please god, no. Oh boy, that was painful. There was good music at the end. Oh, that was really terrible. Terrible games. Okay, that's the end of the video. That was worst plug and play console ever 2 by Rerez. Oh boy, those games just absolutely sucked. You know what? I wasn't expecting much, you know. I mean, when I was gonna watch this video, I wasn't expecting 200 great, amazing games, you know. I had my expectations extremely low. You know, at the first game, I knew it was gonna be an absolute disaster. But yeah, the game's not good, absolutely trash, and I don't think I would buy this even as a collector's item. I'm not. I mean, there's no rush to buy. I mean, I wouldn't even buy it just for the sake of having it as a collector's item, just for the sake of having it because it's just something to have. No, I think it would disrespect my like game console collection or something like that. That the plug and play consoles, it would sort of disrespect it if you had it in a cabinet. So steer it away from those. But there really is very rare good plug and play consoles. I don't think I really know a handful of plug and play consoles that are pretty good. Perhaps the Star Wars one was pretty alright, the plug and play Star Wars one. But yeah, that was worst plug and play console ever 2 by Rerez. We've checked out all the games. Like I said, not really shocked. We knew what we were gonna expect. The games were gonna be absolutely terrible. It's like Action 52, but Action 200. But yeah. Thank God we got through the video. That was like really long. So yeah, I just want to note that this was a special video sort of. I won't be doing any more of these long videos. This was only a one-time thing for Lita because she's been waiting a year for this reaction video. So hopefully you're happy with it. Hopefully you know, you finally get to see it. You know, it's finally, oh, finally I waited a year. But yeah, I'm sorry you waited so long. But yeah, I'm just want to let you guys know that I'm not going to be doing another one of these videos like an hour long or anything. Keep it short, 20 minutes at least. 30 minutes is pushing it. But 20 minutes is a nice, acceptable reaction video for me to react to. But yeah, I'm not going to be reacting to videos that goes into the hours, guys. That's ridiculous. This, like I said, this is a one-time sort of special for Lita because she's been so patient. And she's been a long-time subscriber as well. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.